Yo, what up, Street Talks, Air Kim? Alright, so this is why I think photography is good for the mind, the soul, and good for mental therapy. So, first and foremost, my theory is I think that mental stuff is rooted in the body. So, I know for myself, when I start thinking depressive thoughts or I feel anxious, whatever, my body is actually feeling depressed and anxious. And usually when I just go out for a walk or a run or go work out, generally I feel a lot better. Now I guess the thing that comes to mind is, what is one of the reasons why I love photography so much? So photography is great because it kind of gives you an excuse to just go out, like leave your house and walk around to explore, and to also practice your ocular skills and distancing. So for example, like if you're looking at a screen all day, your eyes don't actually have the chance to readjust and refocus towards other distances, and therefore, you know, probably you get headaches and stuff like that because your brain eye oculus system is kind of a little bit out of whack. So one of the biggest benefits of just going on a walk is the ability to see really far distances. And not only that, but I also find one of the benefits is, you know, when you're out making photos, you could just kind of like that look, and you could just kind of, when you're walking, you could just kind of see the world in embodied reality and just delight in all the different shapes and forms of reality. And so the more I think about it, you know, the point of photography isn't to be a great photographer or make great photographs. The point of photography is for us to just kind of enjoy existence, enjoy life, and just give us an excuse to leave the house and get around. Because certainly, if you could give someone $1 trillion on the precondition that they can never leave their 300 square foot studio apartment, what would be the point of that? Or let's even extrapolate. Let's say you give a human $1 trillion, and you gave them a huge mansion bunker, but they'd be the only ones living there by themselves. Would this be a meaningful life? Probably not. Then, you know, even if you gave them all the iPads, iPhones, devices, screens, whatever, you know, this certainly still wouldn't be a meaningful life. So for me...
Yo, Eric, what's up?
What up? Oh, is that you, Ruben?
Hey.
Yo, you still alive, man? Looking good, dude.
You too.
Where are you going?
Just going for a walk.
Going for a walk?
Yeah.
All right. How about let's walk and talk.
I would love to.
So what's your name?
Ruben.
So where are you from?
From Seattle originally, but can't go back there right now. They're a little worse off than we are here.
So you're a Brown medical student?
Brown med student, just finished 3rd year, waiting to start 4th year.
So what are your thoughts on new Ruben life goals considering the pandemic and whatnot?
You know, it really puts everything in perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah.
My goals right now, while we're just trying to get through it,
Yeah.
trying to get outside every day. I've got
Yeah.
this rotation of biking, running, and just doing exercises in the park. So that's been good. I'm trying to cook.
Yep.
You know, trying to stay connected with people as we're far apart. It's interesting. It almost happened with my brothers and I when we went off to college. When we were physically in different cities, I feel like we became closer than we ever were before.
Oh, why is that?
I think it requires you to put in a new kind of effort and not take for granted what you have around you. I think some people have pointed out that right now the world seems so much larger when we're confined to a little bubble, and I think it's interesting to look forward to having access to that.
Let's walk around.
Sounds
this
good.
way. So to see what we actually have access to.
I think, you know, it's fun to look forward to in the future, again, having access to this world when things return to normal. But for now, it's, you know, talking to family members who are all in different cities.
Yeah.
In some ways, there are things that we can all relate to. We're all going through similar things right now, but it's a little bit different where everyone is for each person. It's if I had to describe this time in one word, it would be surreal.
Surreal, yeah.
Which, wow, it's interesting.
Well, to your point on the surrealism, it's kind of interesting because reality is a lot more real now. Like, even when I leave the house, I feel like I could see everything in 4K now. Like, even looking at a tree, right? Like, looking at the fractal patterns and stuff like that, or even looking at the grass, how green it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking green, man.
Yeah.
Like, really fucking green. And, you know, and also the fun thing that I found that, like, just leaving my house and because it's a lot more quiet, I'm actually kind of getting Zen Kyoto vibes where it's just a lot quieter. So I actually feel more connected to nature.
I think we have simultaneously more things to focus on and fewer things to focus on right now. And that's good and bad.
Yeah.
It allows us, as you said, to notice things that we wouldn't usually. And I hope some of those things stick with us afterwards.
So have you had any turbo thoughts in terms of just like, what is the point of humanity? Like, let's say we did like a crazy, like, imagine if this is like a Black Mirror episode where we had to stay in our 300 square foot apartment for the rest of our lives and telecommute for the rest of our lives. Would that be a good life? Like, what does it mean to be human?
I think to be human is to grow. And that at the end of the day, that's all we know how to do. That's all anything alive knows how to do is to grow.
Yeah.
That's all we're really programmed to do.
Uh-huh.
And growth is hard right now.
Yeah.
Because we all feel confined.
Yeah.
So we're all having to find different ways to do it.
So, can humans grow if they don't have a physical space to grow?
I think so. It might not be what we're used to, but I think we can grow emotionally and mentally.
I'm trying to think, I'm like, maybe we can't. I guess I'm more of the pessimist in that regard.
But sometimes it's also comforting to know that we don't have to, you know?
Yeah.
Growth can be individual and personal. It can also be on a species level. It can be on a family level, a country level, a planetary level. So I think at the end of the day, we also may have to realize that it may not always be humans' time to grow.
Yeah, oh, that's interesting. Well, because like, okay, so one of my
planet can grow without us.
Well, one of my optimistic thoughts was, you know, have you seen that thing where which way you want to walk?
Any direction.
Yeah, we'll walk down that way.
Yeah.
So one of the optimistic thoughts I've been having, Ruben, is like, it seems like given all this, maybe we'll walk down to there or something. Given all this, it looks like actually humans or nature has had the chance to recover a bit. Have you seen that whole thing in Beijing where now that no one could produce nothing no more, the CO2 or the nitrogen levels have gone like super duper clean now? Like it went it went from like red to like blue. So I was like, so part of me, like, cause you know, I'm actually a Boy Scout. I'm actually an Eagle Scout.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, I spent a lot of time in the nature and stuff like that. And you know, I never really took it for granted. But now so much, I'm like, maybe like, have you watched The Matrix?
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember that scene where Agent Smith is like describing to Morpheus that like, you humans are the disease?
Yes. Yeah. You know, maybe this is just an instance of us outgrowing ourselves a little bit and having to readjust. But who knows? I've heard people say that honestly we need to be responding to global warming like we are responding to COVID now, and we're not. And I think that's going to be the next one. You know, it's evolving on a slower time scale.
I almost wonder if indirectly, because we humans are not doing that no more, actually we are indirectly fixing global warming.
That's what I've heard some people say. You know, this is remarkably going to be the best air quality we've had for a long time. But it's not going to happen by just going back to the previous normal.